All right, so once again, welcome to the Milton Free Water Virtual Learning Academy Orientation. We will be going through a slideshow that I will share. And if you have questions, please use the chat feature down below. And then Maddie, who's on here from the ESD, will kind of look at those questions as we go along, and Allison. So I suppose I should introduce them. So the first one I see here is Allison Hinkle. She is our Learning Lab teacher, and her office hours will be 11 to 3:15, Monday through Friday. And she will be there as a resource beyond the teachers who you will have classes with, who the students will have classes with. She'll be able to help do some assignments with students. She can get online and do some meets of some sort, but she'll be the one to help you. And then Maddie Koenig from the IMESD. She is one the people that helped to spearhead the growth of this whole program, and so we appreciate her efforts, and Aaron Lair and them for getting us moving in the right direction regionally. So thank you. So I'm going to share my screen again here. All right, so again, welcome to the Virtual Learning Academy, and here we go. So what to expect the first day and week. So this week, the teachers are going to be reaching out to students in the Acellus classes, as well as the Google Classroom classes, and their big focus will be starting next Tuesday, just building relationships with students and families. It's important for teachers to build that relationship, because learning happens much easier. Students are more successful. They'll help with logins and that kind of thing with some of the technology. So K through 6 students should expect to receive contact from the teachers, and they will let you know what your day will look like. 7 through 12 students will expect to log into Acellus or log into their Google Classroom courses on the first day. And again, teachers are going to make contact and make sure that students can log in. Student schedules are underway currently. They're being put together. Students and guardians, like I said, will receive an email with teacher contact information. K through 6 teachers will be contacting families this week, and they will be coordinating times to meet families to provide that support so that they can get content and materials next week for each of the classes. Login information will be sent to students' school district emails and guardians' emails listed in the registration information. So that is all the work that I've been doing, collecting that and signing students up and registering them. So one of the big things is always to make sure that we have current information, phone numbers, email addresses, and address changes. If students are enrolled in Acellus courses, students and guardians will receive login information and how to get onto Acellus. Acellus classes, again, are pre-recorded by, could be national teachers, and then a teacher from the ESD will be in contact to help with that. If students are enrolled in Google Classroom-based courses, they will receive an email from each of their teachers with an invitation code to be added to their Google Classroom. And that will help centralize the login location for them. So your initial technology support will be Myra Osorio, who is the Free Water Secretary. She'll be able to help get you logged in into your Google Chromebook. Beyond that, it would be Ms. Hinkle, the Learning Lab teacher. And then also there's an 800 number here that will be provided via this presentation that I'll email out to parents. And it's also on the Free Water School website, and so that number is available. For Acellus and Google Classroom course support, contact the course teacher. They can help solve most of the problems that someone would have logging onto their classes. If support is still needed, the teacher can help coordinate some kind of support from the district or from the ESD to help with that. If you're in need of a hotspot, we will have those later this week. We ordered 250 for the district, and so any students who will be needing those, families that will be needing those, will have those set up. So if you would, please let me know via email that you need a hotspot. So there is a technology agreement in the handbook, parent-student handbook, which again, that will also be emailed out to you. But basically, acceptable use means students being responsible. They're using their computer for things like class projects, sending and receiving emails that are educational in nature, and working on homework, schoolwork, assignments, or contacting anyone here at the Virtual Learning Academy. Unacceptable use is generally any action that disrupts the properly and orderly operation of the computer or the classroom, threatens the usefulness of the computer, violates other rights, is socially inappropriate, or is illegal. So there are more specific things in the technology agreement in the handbook, and so that will be available to you when I email it out. There is a page that will need to be signed, and then a picture can be taken of it and emailed back to me. You can mail a copy of it signed back to me, and we'll sign it as well. So a big change for attendance this year. Last year, most online classes could do 2 check-ins a week. Now the Oregon Department of Education says that attendance will be taken once per day for students K through 6, and attendance has to be taken every day for each student scheduled in classes 7 through 12. So that's a major shift in what we're doing for attendance. And I think part of that stems to the fact that there were a lot of people just not logging in or doing work that was available last spring. So I think this is a way to help resolve that. So again, if you have students who are grades 7 through 12, they should be logging on 6 or 7 times a day for their classes. So what counts as that logging in or that attendance? Signing in and completing work in Acellus or Google Classroom, attending a live video meeting, turning in completed assignments, taking a test of some sort, contacting the teacher via chat, text message, email, phone call, or communication app that they may have set up. And as I said, a phone call between the teacher or an educational assistant or other teacher representing the teacher of that class. And so there may be a time when an educational assistant or parapro would be calling to help 2 or 3 students in a group, and that would count as part of that attendance. So the other piece that is important this year is that there are expectations of progress in the course. Again, part of that was people not logging in, or there was such a minimal amount of work that students couldn't complete something within an allotted time. So by attending every day to their classes, so students are expected to maintain adequate progress in all their courses. Progress in all courses will be monitored and reported by teachers. Students taking Acellus courses will be assigned a certain number or percentage of assignments that need to be completed each week to stay on pace. So a semester-length class should take a semester to finish. You should be halfway completed with the class at the quarter. Students taking Google Classroom courses will be expected to complete assignments, and that pace will be determined by the teacher who is teaching the course. So those Google Classroom courses will follow along more in line with what a traditional classroom length would be and what that pacing guide would be over the course of a semester or a year. The Acellus courses can be done faster, but shouldn't be done any slower than what is recommended. If students begin to fall behind, an academic support plan may be developed to help the student maintain adequate progress. From a punitive standpoint, there's not a lot that we can do to move students ahead. So it's going to be critical that parents are a part of this process and checking in on their students.
Do I have money for my phone card?
Was there a question?
She gave me $20 that one time, and I have 10 of it left.
For last week?
Can you please mute your button there? I'm not sure exactly who it is, but it's showing up as LG.
Yeah, it's mine.
If you could mute that. So the expectations for the program. Student behavior is the virtual setting will need to align with the expectations of the student handbook. So several of you, we have our own handbook, and if a student is participating in anything with their regular homeschool, like GIB or Mackay or Central, then they also will have those expectations to follow. In a nutshell, students are expected to be respectful of students and staff during classroom sessions, tutoring time, and any other time when in an educational setting. Students are expected to put forth a good faith effort and complete their own work. Technology should be treated like you've borrowed it, which several of you have, and it should be returned in the shape in which it was received when you borrowed it. And then if you need more information on the different schools' handbooks, their handbooks will be online. There's additional expectations, especially if they're participating in co-curricular activities. And most of those aren't going to be happening until the state allows us to participate in those. If you're a high school student, then this would apply to you. So sports are being held off until winter and later at this point, but there are requirements that you passed 5 classes the previous semester. And so freshmen coming in currently will be automatically eligible, but at semester time, if you haven't passed a minimum of 5 classes, then you would be ineligible for the second semester. So that's something just to be aware of. Our athletic director at the high school is Chris Melia, and he can give any other information. And when we get to that point where there are extracurricular activities, he will be the one 9 through 12 working with students to make sure that they are eligible. So as a parent, how do you check that progress? You'll receive an invite from the Intermountain ESD Parent View so you can monitor progress in online courses. So that's going to have a login and a password for you. If you have students who are taking a class or two with the Milton Free Water school district like Central, Mackay, Gibb, or Ferndale, and the IMSD courses, then you'll have 2 parent views that you can look at, both of them with their own set of classes in which that student is taking the classes with. So all ESD classes, you would have to go to that parent view. If your child had 1 class from Mackay, you would have to go to Mackay's for that parent view for that single class. And those again will be sent out. Guardians with students taking Google Classroom courses can elect to opt into notifications from Google Classroom about students' progress for due dates, when coursework has been submitted, and things like that. And your classroom teachers should be able to help parents set that up. So special considerations. If your child is an English language learner or a special needs student, services will be coordinated with your child's home school of record. So for example, if your child goes to GIB normally and you've opted on for the Virtual Learning Academy, then those special ed services or English language learner services would come from them. And it could be rendered online virtually. And at some point, if we're allowed to come back, it may be in very small groups. But definitely student safety and staff safety is going to be of paramount in any settings in which we return to the classroom. So your primary contact outside of the teacher, so within the Milton Free Water District, will be Allison Hinkle. She is the Learning Lab teacher. She will be available from 11 a.m. to 3:15. And of course, myself as the coordinator here in Milton Free Water will also be available via email, call, however it is best. If you need support for tech, this is the number that is available. So if you're calling after hours or weekends, you should leave your student name, the school district, grade level, the description of the issue, a callback number, and or email address for contact. So those are important things if you're having some real technical issues after hours or on weekends. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any change of address, phone number, or emergency contact information, it's critical that you get that to the school, to Free Water School as soon as possible. We just want to make sure that all lines of communication stay open, and without updated information, numbers or emails, it's very difficult to do that. The other thing that I would encourage you to do that we have struggled with in my years at Mac High and whatnot is that parents who get new phone numbers, they don't give us that information. But also if your mailbox is not set up or full, then we can't leave some form of communication either. It makes it a little more difficult. So if you could help us out on that, that would be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing here. And so if anyone has had any questions, you could either put it in the chat box, or now would be a good time to ask. I have Maddie here who can help me answer any questions on some of maybe the classroom things that are still being worked out over the course of this week. So let's see. So it looks like there's no questions in the chat currently. So if you have any questions currently, then just need to go ahead and hit your, activate your microphone there and ask away. Okay, so the more questions will probably come after you receive teachers' emails, and so you're free to contact us. Once you get those, make sure you practice logging on and getting the links all set up so that they're easy for you to access. I would also encourage you to write down any usernames or passwords for schooling, and tape that to the inside of the cookie cabinet or on the fridge or someplace where you will see it often enough to be able to remember where those things are. So that's just some encouragement. Maddie, do you have anything that I have missed or went over way too quickly, or anything that I should be adding or you can add?
Well, I got to speak with our teachers today, and they're just really excited for the school year and looking forward to engaging with students in this virtual environment. Our K-6 teachers are going to start making phone calls starting tomorrow. And then several of our secondary teachers with Google Classrooms have already started sending invites to students' district emails. So they can start expecting invites to Google Classrooms anytime. And I kind of gave them the deadline. They need to have them to students no later than Friday morning. So hopefully all students will have access to those soon. If for some reason students missing a class, let Jay know so he can let me know so I can make sure I get those final pieces wrapped up. Acellus-based courses it's looking like probably Friday we'll get those login information to students, and they should play with it over the weekend and then be ready to log in and see what's there for them in Acellus on Tuesday. Jay, do you have any questions for me or anything you want me to answer?
Not right now. I think the big thing for me is, what does a student day look like? And I think that's really going to be dependent after parents get the emails and hear from the teachers. And then we could probably build some kind of just what a day might look like for a student. And that might just help ease some anxiety for myself as well as students.
Our K-6 teachers shared their schedules today, and I don't know what it is about K-6 teachers. They were all like beautiful and pretty, but they have kind of established what will be their synchronous or their meeting times with students. They talked about how they were going to record those times so then parents and students could access them later. They're going to have meeting times that parents and students can schedule throughout the week to have more of a one-on-one supporting system. They're going to do some small group instruction. I think that parents and families are really going to like the flexibility and the individualized learning that's going to happen through the K-6, and then 7-12 is going to be really flexible depending on if you're in Acellus or in Google Classroom. I know our teachers in the secondary with Google Classroom are also looking at how to do some meetings with students, what that's going to look like, and are going to be really responsive to the needs of families and kind of the time of day that's going to work best for everyone.
Okay. Allison Hinkle, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, just one thing. I think for the school district email, I just want to clarify to make sure people know how to get in right now. It's your grad year, your last name, and first initial at miltfreesd.org. And I believe when I looked last time, at least for our school district, everyone's password initially is miltfree, and then you have to change it to something more specific and secure for your student, and then save that and remember it. If you don't, then we have to reset it through IT again. But that should get you in right now so you can see if you even have Google Classroom invites already. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Jay, has most of the students been able to pick up technology, or is that going to happen the end of week and next week?
So we had technology pick up the 23rd and 24th, or 24th and 25th of August. And so students can still pick up technology at any of the schools. Freewater currently doesn't have any of the Chromebooks, but Gibb does. And so Gibb would be a good place if someone still needs a Chromebook. And again, hotspots will be available hopefully by the end of this week, and they will, I believe, be delivered by Milton Free Water District staff so that parents have those in hand.
Great. I will pass that information on to our teachers as they start communicating with students and parents.
Okay. Well, parents, I appreciate your time on here. I just ask for patience as we go through this inaugural year of this process, but I think that the students are going to have a great school year. They're going to learn a lot, and teachers are going to do a great job communicating with the students and hopefully with you over progress and whatnot. We will at some point have a little calendar for conferences and some of those things that we'll need to scheduled, but it should follow pretty closely to the Milton Free Water School District schedule. So again, parents, any questions at all? Okay, so if you come up with a question or you're still not sure about something, please email me. It's jay.rodiguero, RODIGHIERO at miltfree.k12.or.us. Okay, hearing no questions at all, then I want to thank you for being here tonight. hopefully that wasn't too long, and hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening, and looking forward to a great school year. Thank you so much.